All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're digging into the work of Dr. Robert Lustig to investigate a pretty unsettling question, a question that honestly should probably keep all of us up at night. And this is it, the central paradox. I mean, think about it. We have miracle drugs, incredible surgical techniques, brilliant doctors. But at the same time, chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and dementia are absolutely exploding. It just doesn't add up, right? So what in the world are we missing? Well, Dr. Lustig's work suggests the first clue is hiding in how we even think about health itself. So to find our first clue, we have to ask a really fundamental question about the system we rely on. Are we truly in the business of healthcare or something else entirely? Well, according to the source material, our system has quietly shifted its goal from curing people to simply managing their symptoms. I mean, just think about the business logic for a second, as harsh as it sounds. A cured patient is a lost customer. But a patient who manages a chronic illness for 30 or 40 years, that's a reliable revenue stream. This is what's being called sick care, a system that's gotten incredibly good at treating the smoke while completely ignoring the fire. And this gets to a really core distinction. You see, some diseases are druggable. Think of a bacterial infection. There's a clear target, and an antibiotic can go in and wipe it out. But the chronic metabolic diseases that are overwhelming us, those are foodable. They're not a single problem you can target. They're a systemic breakdown of the machinery in all of our cells. And here's the absolute key takeaway. You just can't drug your way out of a problem you literally ate your way into. So, okay, if drugs aren't the answer for these foodable diseases, what is? Well, this leads us to a huge misdirection in this whole investigation. For decades, we've been pointing the finger at one thing, weight. But the real crime, the real damage is happening where you can't even see it. At first glance, this chart seems to back up everything we think we know. A huge chunk of the obese population, 80%, is metabolically ill. Okay, that makes sense. No surprises there, right? But just wait. And then this. This is the real shocker. A full 40%, almost half, of the normal weight population is suffering from the exact same metabolic diseases. This is that thin outside, fat inside idea. It's proof positive that the number on your bathroom scale is telling you the wrong story. It's missing the point completely. And this quote from Dr. Lustig just nails it. We've all been obsessing over the tip of the iceberg, the visible part, obesity, while completely missing the gigantic, invisible pandemic of metabolic dysfunction happening underneath the surface, affecting people of every single size. So if weight isn't the real enemy, what is? The source points to these 8 processes going haywire inside our cells. They're called the hateful 8. These are the real villains, things like mitochondrial dysfunction and insulin resistance. They're the fires that are creating all that smoke. To see what I mean, let's just zoom in on one of them, glycation. Glycation. I know it sounds super technical, but you've actually seen it happen 1,000 times. Every time you toast a piece of bread and it turns brown, that's the Maillard reaction. It's just sugar sticking to protein. Now imagine that same browning process happening inside your body, slowly making your tissues stiff, brittle, and old before their time. And that leads to this kind of a terrifying thought. When you eat too much of a specific kind of sugar, you are, in a very real sense, slow cooking your own body from the inside out. But here's the thing, not all sugar is the bad guy here. This is so important. Glucose, the kind of sugar you find in starches like potatoes, can be used by pretty much every cell in your body for energy. It's our basic fuel. But fructose, the sweet stuff in sodas and processed foods, is different. It's almost exclusively handled by your liver. And when the liver gets slammed with too much fructose, it has no choice but to turn it directly into fat. This comparison is just so perfect because biochemically, it's pretty much true. The way your liver metabolizes a can of soda is stunningly similar to how it metabolizes a can of beer. Both overload the liver, both can lead to fatty liver disease, and both drive insulin resistance. It explains a truly horrifying modern phenomenon, kids getting the diseases that were once only seen in career alcoholics. Okay, so we've identified the biological crime scene, and we've even got a prime suspect in fructose. Now let's zoom out and look at the broader system that, according to the source material, not only allows this to happen, but actually profits from it. Dr. Lustig calls this the iron triangle, and it works like a perfectly oiled machine. You've got big food creating cheap, addictive, processed products that make us sick. Then you have big pharma selling us the pills to manage the symptoms of that sickness. And propping up the whole thing, you have government policies and farm subsidies that make the corn and sugar for all that processed food incredibly cheap to begin with. It's a perfect, self-sustaining cycle. Now, when you see a system like that, it's pretty easy to feel overwhelmed, right? To feel powerless. But here's the really good news. Dr. Lustig argues that the most powerful tool for change isn't in a government building or a corporate boardroom. It's right there at the end of your fork. After all that complex science, the solution boils down to two beautifully simple rules. Number one, protect the liver. That just means cut down on the things that poison it, especially fructose. And number two, feed the gut. That means giving the trillions of good bacteria inside you the fiber they need to do their job and keep you healthy. So how do we actually do that? Simple, by eating real food. And the definition of real food is just as simple. If it was made in a plant, not grown on one, it's probably not real food. If it has a list of ingredients a mile long, not real food. Real food is what your great-grandmother would have recognized. It lives, and because it lives, it eventually rots. And that is a very, very good sign. And this right here is your practical playbook. You don't need a complicated diet plan. Just follow these simple rules of thumb. Next time you're in the grocery store, stick to the outside aisles. That's where the fresh meat, fish, and produce usually are. And for anything in a package, just glance at the label. If it has more than 5 ingredients, or things you can't even pronounce, just put it back. It belongs in a science lab, not in your body. So that's the story. Based on the incredible work in Metabolical, we've seen the problem, we've identified the culprits, and we've exposed the system. But more importantly, we've seen a clear path out, which leaves us with one final, crucial question. Now that you know how the game is rigged, are you ready to change how you play? The next move is all yours.